Hello my dear students. In our previous class we already discussed the chemical reactions and equation chapter. Now we are going to continue with from our previous class, that is burning of candle wax is an example for the chemical change, right? Here the burning candle initially it was having of this length, but after some time it is going to lose its size or it is going to be of shape. That's why it is to be known as reactant, and the resultant part, this is to be known as of our product. Let's see some other examples. Next, the ripening of fruits. Yes, fruits will in the initial state they were unripe. Initially, what is the color of the fruit here? Initially, before unripening, the unripe fruit, the unripe fruit, it's having of color that is of green in color. Yes, every unripe fruit or unripe is going to be having a green in color. After some time, after it's getting its maturity, it's going to convert its color. The ripened fruit color will be the ripened color. Is going to change into a yellow in color. Yes, you already seen the banana and our favorite, that is of mango. You already eaten the mango pickle, right? This is example for the change in chemical. Okay, chemical is an example for the chemical change process. Let's see some other example. Next, the burning of fuels. Basically, the fuels are daily we are using the fuels. Examples some fuels. Yes, first one is our LPG, wood, coal. Then these are the few examples for our fuels. And in the vehicles we are using the petrol, diesel, kerosene, etc. These are the basic fuels we are using in our daily life. Okay, what is the reaction is going to involve here? Okay, always there is going to be of burning of fuel. Okay, in these fuels they are having something called as carbon. They are having the carbon. For a combustion process we require what? We require oxygen. Oxygen. After the combination of these two things, we are going to form something is called our carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is our, what can you tell? What is here? What do you mean by carbon dioxide here? Here carbon and oxygen. What are these? These are our reactants. And what is our resultant one? That is our product. Yes. In respect of the product, we also getting something else called as we getting our heat energy. It is also one type of energy, or we also it as of our the secondary product and our primary product. Let's see some other example. And third, the seventh example is our decaying of organic matter. Let me understand what we mean by organic matter. The substance which are having carbon as a constituent, carbon as basic thing in that. Carbon is a basic thing or a major thing. We call it as of organic substance or organic matter. Every substance will going to get decay after some time. If you throw any vegetable, if you throw any leaf in the atmosphere, it's going to decay itself. Okay, after the by the action of viruses, bacteria, fungi, fungus, these are going to act on the leaf. It's going to decay, and it's going to be leaf, paper, or it may be anything, or the human body. They are going to be decay after some time. Okay, decaying of any organic matter is also an example for the chemical change. Okay, can you understand? The decaying of the organic matter, we call it as of what is the example for the chemical change. Next, the burning of magnesium ribbon. Here we already know that what we mean by burning. Burning means what? Combustion. Combustion means what? Any organic substance with the presence of oxygen. We call them it as of combustion, or we call it as burning. What we are burning here? We are burning an element. We are burning what? An element. Can you tell what is the formula of magnesium? The formula of magnesium is Mg. Mg is the elemental form of the magnesium. What we are doing, what we are burning here? We are burning the magnesium ribbon. Is going to be present like this. It's having a silver in color. Okay, we are burning here what? Magnesium ribbon. Okay, let's see how it's going to be burned. If I consider magnesium, we are considering a magnesium ribbon. That means it's going to having a solid state, and I am adding some more of what? I am adding the energy, or I am adding the heat here. If I burn it, if I burn we are getting what? In presence of definitely oxygen, and because of in every atmosphere we are having the oxygen in our atmosphere. Okay, we are heating the magnesium ribbon. We require what? Heat in presence of oxygen. What we are going to get? We are going to get our magnesium oxide. What we are getting here? Magnesium oxide. It's powder. White powdery white color powder, grey color powder, or white color powder. We are going to obtain as a solid form of, we call it as magnesium oxide. Okay, the magnesium oxide will burn like of having a luminous light. It's going to while burning, it's going to produce luminous bright light. Luminous bright light is going to be produced while burning the magnesium ribbon, and giving it as a product as magnesium oxide, as our reactant as magnesium, heat, and our oxygen. These are here our reactants. The magnesium oxide is our products. Okay, let's see. And we already seen some chemical reactions. Okay, while observing the chemical reaction, they are going to produce something. Either the product is going to have a gas, either the product will be a solid, either they are going to be changed in color. In a candle, we have already seen the candle is going to burn. It's going to change its appearance, shape, and size. These are to be considered as the chemical characteristics of a reaction. We already know that every product which is going to form before this reactant. If I react two reactant, they are going to form a product. The product is not having similar properties as for the reactants, right? Let's see some of the characteristics of a chemical reaction. The first characteristic of reaction is of evolution of a gas. In every reaction, not every reaction, in some of the reaction, when we are going to react something, they are going to form, the product is going to be formed in the form of a gas. Okay, this is the first characteristic of the chemical reaction. Next, the formation of the PPT. What do you mean by PPT here? It is known as precipitate. We call it as a precipitate. What do you mean by precipitate here? Let me discuss after few seconds. Next, the change in the color. The chemical reaction from the reactant and the product, there is going to be change in their color also. After reaction, they are going to form a color. Next, the next thing, the change in temperature. Not exactly we can say it is change in temperature. We call it as a change in their heat. Heat process is going to be differ. Okay, there is going to be differ in their temperature, or we also call it as a change in the heat. Either going to be warmed up, or there is going to be of cool down. Okay, next chemical characteristic is going to be of a change in what? Chemical state, or we already know that what we mean by state. Okay, how many states do you know? They are having totally how many states? what is to be known as solid. Second state is known as liquid. And third is known as gas. And the fourth important state is known as plasma. And one more state is to be known as what we call as Bose-Einstein condensate. These are the few states of matter. Okay, let's see one by one. Start. Let us continue with our characteristic of a chemical reaction one by one. The first one is known as to be as of our evolution of a gas. Let me having two examples. That is first one, reaction between zinc metal and we are using dilute H2SO4. That is to be known as sulfuric acid. And second of reaction is reaction with the sodium carbonate Na2CO3 and dilute HCl. Dilute means what? It's going to have a less percentage of acid and more percentage of water. We call them as dilute. That is what we are using here. HCl. HCl means hydrochloric acid. Let me see what is going to happen in this reaction. Okay, reaction between zinc and dilute sulfuric acid. Let me react the zinc. Okay, zinc is here Zn. Okay, plus we are adding what? Dilute H2SO4. I am writing here Z as H2SO4. Okay, let me complete the reaction. Here zinc metal and the sulfuric acid is what here? These are the two reactants which are using in between them. That's reaction. What will let them happen? The reaction is going to have the ZnSO4. The reactant is going to have a product is to be known as ZnSO4 and we are getting our as of H2. What is here H2? It is of gas. That's why I am writing an arrow which is showing upward direction. Okay, here zinc is reacting with the dilute H2SO4 to going to form a zinc sulfate and a hydrogen gas. Can you tell that evolution of a gas in the reaction between zinc and dilute sulfuric acid? We are going to have a which gas is? We are producing which gas? That's going to be hydrogen gas. Let's see second example. That is of reaction between sodium carbonate and dilute HCl. Let me react with the Na2CO3. That means sodium carbonate and HCl. Okay. Let's write the reaction. Let's see what happened. It's going to form that is known as NaCl. We are getting form what? We are going to form the NaCl that is of sodium chloride plus we are going to form what? The CO2 gas. What is here? What is the CO2? CO2 means it's a carbon dioxide. Remember, it's to be known as carbon dioxide. Okay, these are the reaction which is going to involve of gases. These not only these two reactions, in many reactions we are going to be expect like this. Okay, just you try to do this one. Which one? Try to do when zinc reacts with dilute HCl. Okay, try to do this in your notebook or a test in the notes. Okay, let's see next one. Next characteristic of a reaction, the formation of a precipitate. Let me tell what you mean by precipitate. Precipitate means it is an insoluble salt after the reaction in the presence which is going to be settled at the bottom of the chemical utensil or a substance. If you are adding something, let me draw for you. If I add some water here, okay, I am adding some water here. Add some water. In this I am going to add some sand. Okay, I am going to add some sand. The sand will be going to settle, whether it's going to be settle upside or whether it's going to be float or it's going to be settled down. Can you guess? Yes, it's going to settle at the bottom side. Okay, why it is going to settle bottom side? Because it is having higher density, it's going to have a heavy weight. Okay, and we can also tell that it's not going to be soluble in water. That's why there is going to be settled bound at the bottom side. It is to be known as precipitate. Precipitate means what? Insoluble salt. Let me see two examples for you. The first one is potassium iodide. It K means what? Potassium. I means what? Iodine. And Pb means what? It means lead. And NO3 means what? Nitrate. Let's see reaction what may going to happen in between them. Potassium iodide going to react PbNO3 means lead nitrate. What the reaction is going to happen? Can you guess? Yes, they are going to form the potassium nitrate. Okay, and they are going to form potassium nitrate and they are going to form as lead iodide. Lead iodide, which is going to be precipitate here. It is also going to be, its physical state is solid, it is also solid. What is the product which is going to form? It is of a liquid one. Which one? Potassium nitrate is of liquid one. The lead iodide is solid one, which is going to settle at the bottom side. Okay, can you observe the symbol? The symbolic representation indicate what? It indicates a PPT, means insoluble salt, or we also known as our precipitate. Let's see some another example. The barium chloride is going to react with dilute sulfuric acid, H2SO4. Okay, let's see what is going to happen. Try to do in your notes. Done? Very good. The next reaction let me correct yourself. The barium is going to react with the form of BaSO4, barium sulfate, and we are going to form an acid that is to be known as HCl. Can you tell which is precipitate here? Yes, you are definitely right. It is liquid. Yes, we know that. Barium chloride is solid in nature. HCl, we already discussed, it is an acid which is present in the liquid form. If it is liquid, definitely it is going to be what? It is going to be of our precipitate. It is going to be of our precipitate. Okay, it is going to be known as our precipitate. Okay, next thing. The next property, the change in color. In every reaction, whether is going to have a change, difference in the, either is going to be liberation of gas or is going to have a precipitate. The next characteristic of the chemical reaction is of the change in what? Color. Okay, we already observed next in this change in color. We are having two examples. One is known as reaction between citric acid and KMnO4. And second example is our acidified potassium dichromate and sulfur dioxide, our gas. Let's see what is going to happen. Citric acid is a basic acid which is present in our home. In the definitely the example, if I give an example, it is present in the lemon. In the lemon, we are having the citrus fruit. It is present in that, we call it as citric acid. Let me react. And it is citric acid is present in the colorless gas. Colorless liquid, sorry. It is having the colorless liquid. And our KMnO4, which is having one type of color, which is having the purple color. Which is having which color? Which is having the purple color. Let's see what happened after the reaction with the citric acid. Plus KMnO4. Okay, what is the color of this one? It is colorless. What is the color of this one? It's having of a purple in color. After the reaction between citric acid and KMnO4, after the reaction between citric acid and KMnO4, it's going to be formed a colorless solution. It's going to form a colorless solution. After the reaction between KMnO4 and the citric acid, they are going to form, where the color is going to change from purple color to, it's going to change in the colorless solution. It is indicates what? It indicates the chemical reaction has been completed. Let's see some other example. In this reaction, the acidified KMnO4, the acidified K2Cr2O7 means acidified means some addition of acidic part. They are going to form react with the potassium dichromate and the sulfur dioxide gas. In the let's see the reaction what is going to happen. K2Cr2O7. Can you guess what is the maybe color? It's having the color of orange in color. The K2Cr2O7 is having of orange in color, and our gas that is known as sulfur dioxide gas, which is having the colorless gas. Okay, after the completion, after the reaction between acidified potassium dichromate, which is of definitely orange color, the sulfur dioxide gas, which is having the colorless. After the reaction between sulfur dioxide and K2Cr2O7, they are going to be changed. Which color? Is going to change in the green in color. They convert into green color. What does it indicate? The change in color indicates the reaction has been converted in between. The reaction has been done in between K2Cr2O7 and the sulfur dioxide. Let's see next one. Next characteristics of the reaction. Next characteristic of reaction is change in temperature. We already know that temperature is just a measurement, not an effect. It's just a measurement by using our thermometer. What is going to be expected? We are going to expect the heat. Heat whether is going to be liberate or absorb. On the basis we are having two types. Number one is known as exothermic reaction, and second one is known as endothermic reaction. Can you split the word here? Exo. Exo means what? Out or outside. Exit. Have you heard the word? Exit. Okay. Exo means here out, outside. Thermic means what? Heat. Thermic heat means what? Heat. Where is the heat is moving? Heat is moving outside. Where heat is moving? Heat is moving outside. Let's see the second word. The endo means in. Endo means what? Inside, or we call it side. In. What do you mean by thermic? Thermic means what? Heat. Thermic means what? Heat. Heat is going to be absorbed. Let's see example for. The first example is between. Okay. The first example is between quicklime and water. Okay. We already heard about what you mean by quicklime. The limestone. Okay, the limestone is going to react with the water. What is going to happen? Have you tried this one? Just try. If you get any limestone with you, just add into the water. It starts going to have a bubbling in that. Okay, there is starting going to have a bubbling in that. The reaction will be having of exothermic reaction. If I put in the container, if I add some limestone, if I add the water, then the container is going to get warm up. It is to be known as exothermic reaction. After the reaction, the heat is going to be evolved outside of the container. That's why we call them as exothermic reaction. In this case, we are adding the quicklime and of water. It is going to show which type of reaction? It is going to show our exothermic reaction. Let's see another example for the endothermic reaction. In this case, the barium hydroxide and the ammonium chloride both are going to react. After the completion of the reaction, they are going to be absorb the heat. It is to be known as endothermic reaction. It's going to be what? In the quicklime and water, what is going to reaction? The heat is going to evolve. Heat is going to what here? It's going to be evolve in the exothermic reaction. In the case of endothermic reaction, the heat is going to absorb. AbSORb. Absorb in the reaction. In the endothermic reaction, we add of mathematical representation as plus. Okay, we call it as a positive. Okay, in this we are going to take it as of negative. Okay, done. Okay, this is to be known as endothermic and of exothermic reaction. Okay, next characteristic of the reaction is a change in state. In this we are going to have two examples. The first one is combustion of candle wax. Okay, after combustion, you already know that combustion means what? Burning of some substances. Next our chemical reaction characteristics, change in state. In this state, in this characteristic, very combustion of the candle wax. Before the lighting, the candle is going to having a nozzle in shape. After the combustion, after the burning of the lighting of the candle, is going to be changed. It's going to be shrink in their size because it is bent down. Okay. Next example for the change in state is sublimation. I think you know about what you mean by sublimation of camphor. Have you heard about what you mean by sublimation? Yes, what do you mean by sublimation? Sublimation means conversion from the solid state. Conversion from solid state to gaseous state. What do you mean by sublimation here? The conversion of solid state into gaseous state without interconversion or without incoming from the liquid state. We call them as a sublimation. Okay, I think you know about the camphor. Okay, naphthalene balls, camphor. If you keep the naphthalene balls or the camphor in your cupboard or in the, usually they used to preserve the new clothes. Okay, if you keep the camphor balls or the naphthalene balls in between your clothes and new clothes, it's going to be convert from solid state to directly gaseous state without having the liquid state. Okay, that's going to be changed. That is to be known as sublimation of the camphor. And similar to be having, it's going to be showing the iodine gas. The iodine initially it is having of purple color or grey color. After some time is going to change its state from the solid to directly is going to change in the color of gaseous state. It is also an example for the sublimation of both camphor and the iodine. Okay, so far we have discussed about the chemical reaction. In upcoming classes we are going to start with our chemical reaction. So stay tuned, read well. Thank you.